Andor Season 2 is different than I expected, and I cannot keep myself from wanting to parse through it all. As of right now, my best understanding is that this first half feels quieter, but nonetheless precisive in its writing, directing, principal photography, and style. Like the ways in which Season 1 felt overwhelming at first, I'm reminded of Clea's honesty about spinning plates and the endless array of mouths to feed. In Season 2, her ways of communicating are through touch, and the separation that Luthen invokes on his subjects is making everyone grow just a little more restless. Gorman is calibrating to the cause a little too late for liking, and the threads interwoven between Coruscant and Gorman and the ISB are altogether meticulous and exhaustive. Imperial counterintelligence feels flavorful, reconnaissance grows stale quickly, and Luthen has a lighthouse in the sky. I talked before about his omen-like presence on the season, and the way he communicates to his safe house continues to define it. Bix has been self-medicating her insomnia away, and Dedra is playing the long game in an orbit familiar to Cassian. This is particularly why the story keeps finding new angles to maintain its verisimilitude. The tempo of Gilroy's story never plays keep away with my attention, and I'm grateful for that. Instead, what I've seen is a space encouraging old subtleties to be re-examined. Residue that lingers from the past creates itself again. Luthen, Cassian, Bix, Wilmon, Cyril, Mon, Dedra, Clea, all eye lines connected by so many little circles. Somewhere Season 2 accomplishes what The Last Jedi was lauded for, the importance of actually subverting expectations. What I mean is we've understood how the endgame plays out from here. Cassian dies, most of everyone will die, but how does it facilitate through Gorman? Luthen doesn't mind if the whole place burns, and Palpatine similarly sees it as a means to an end. Right there, that parallel of perspective is the anchor of subtext, and ambiguity between the sides is the most captivating it's ever been. It's the asymmetry of guerrilla warfare that gives Andor its unique tone, but it's the knots of so many small threads that brings the colors out. And 6 episodes in, I'm still continuously rethinking what I've understood so far, and I really like that. When used in the ways Andor finds befitting, the unraveling of Numa's character ideologies becomes its own kind of craftsmanship. A full 2 movies worth of material, and the motifs are still Gilroy's greatest weapon. How they resonate within Star Wars is an achievement to stand on its own. Something Season 2 does just as competently as ever is focus on stories that are entirely character-driven, moments to construct closure or to introduce driving motivators. The stories in Season 2 are less linear but all feeding into one direction. Instead of deconstructing the world as it did in Season 1, this time it's building its characters back up in the face of it. And I'll admit, I was a bit hesitant to the idea of a 1-year time jump per 3 episodes, but it's working. Given the time constraints, I'm happy to know that Season 2 is not about accelerating this groundbreaking story, but simply allowing it to go wider. It quantifies the characters more faithfully against the backdrop of the fantasy and continues exploring themes that the Jedi and Sith would understand. Personal attachments in the face of a greater cause. In the original 12 episodes, we stood slightly at a distance with Cassian, refracting the radicalization of the rebellion through his eyes. Now it feels like we've zoomed in, further taking these characters into their smallest moments of unwinding, as they suffer, breathe, argue, embrace, live, and die trying. We are seeing more of their wrinkles and blemishes, positives and persuasions, and the breadth of perspectives Gilroy can link by one single conversation is staggering. The subversion of expectations, not by purpose but by people, is the kind of tragedy that Star Wars thrives in, and the fun part, outside of the performances, is how everything happening here is connecting Star Wars into itself. We've discovered how splinters of the rebellion work within the sandbox, how relationships and cultures collide at the 11th hour, and it's the perfect amount of respect given to cinema's greatest saga. Maybe that's really the point of the first half. The sequencing of Season 2 gives Star Wars a wide net across the time period, and it's using the subtext masterfully. As the leverage between characters and dynamic opportunities within the canon, I don't know how else to describe the dance of the writing of Season 2's first half as anything other than incredibly and meticulously authentic. There is still so much to think about, and yet the ending is guaranteed only one brutal outcome, but Gilroy still finds purpose in that, and Star Wars still finds purpose in this. Emphatically so. And as always, thanks for watching.